Hello everyone, and welcome to Voice of Africa. Today we're looking at a political crisis that could reshape not only Senegal, but the future of democracy across West Africa. Two men who once stood side by side now appear to be standing on opposite sides of one of the country's biggest political battles. So, how did Africa's most celebrated political partnership fall apart? Let's begin. Only 2 years ago, supporters proudly chanted, "Diomaye is Sonko, Sonko is Diomaye." Together they defeated the old political establishment. Many believed Senegal had entered a completely new era, but today, that partnership appears to have fractured. Let's pause here, because this is an important moment. Hey, say only for one person, Ousmane Sonko. Back in Dakar, after having dominated the country, the head of the east of the PASTEF, the party in power, displays its popularity. In an uproarious atmosphere, the euphoric militants are confident for the victory in these legislations. An absolute majority, that's for sure. Look at the crowd. Are here. No one is calling us. We came to spend the day and night for the country. Would like to ask President Ousmane Sonko, first of all, to have the courage to stand up. He is the only one who knows how to stand up for our country. We are all in this together. We must stand up for our country. To obtain a majority in the National Assembly, the PASTEF will have to break away from several opposition coalitions in Dakar. The Takawalo Senegal coalition, formed by the two former parties in power, the APR and the PDS, has allied with Diomaye, the former Prime Minister in Moldova, and Samsa Cardo, the Mayor of Dakar. We have already won. Our victory is clear. The men and women who make up this coalition are Senegalese, and they fight for justice. They are Democrats, people who want peace. The election campaign, which ends this Friday, will have been marked by several episodes of violence. For this political analyst, they have eclipsed the debate between the candidates. We could have talked about economy, health, education, immigration, and above all, the issue of the employment of young people. So yes, from this point of view, I think we could have had more debate about the fund. This Sunday, more than 7 million Senegalese will go to the polls to elect 165 deputies. In total, 41 political formations are in competition. Now, here's where everything changed. After taking office, government auditors began reviewing the country's finances. What they discovered shocked both Senegal and international lenders. Hidden debt, worth billions of dollars.
The International Monetary Fund says Senegal retains its sovereign right to decide how to deal with its debt. It made the comments on Tuesday after discussing various options with Dakar on how to address the country's significant debt vulnerabilities. Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko last week ruled out debt restructuring as a way to address strain on the state's finances. It's been facing difficulties since last year after the then new government disclosed hidden debts that are now estimated at more than $11 billion. This led to the IMF freezing a $1.8 billion finance support package for the West African economy. Sonko's comments sparked a sell-off of Senegalese bonds on Monday. The yield on the nation's 2048 dollar debt rose further on Tuesday as rates on shorter-dated maturities eased.
Now here's the important question. How do you respond to a crisis like this? That's where President Faye and Prime Minister Sonko began to disagree. President Faye believed negotiating with international lenders was necessary. Sonko believed Senegal should rely more heavily on domestic solutions and avoid conditions imposed by international institutions. Those different approaches became increasingly difficult to reconcile.
Ladies and gentlemen, by Decree number 2026-1128, dated May 22, 2026, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Bassirou Diomaye Faye, has terminated the appointment of Mr. Ousmane Sonko as Prime Minister, and consequently, those of the ministers and secretaries of state who are members of the government. The outgoing members of the government are tasked with handling day-to-day affairs.
Then, everything happened incredibly fast. President Faye dismissed the government. Days later, Parliament elected Sonko as Speaker. The country's political balance shifted overnight.
Senegal's National Assembly elected ousted Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko as its Speaker Tuesday after he was reinstated to Parliament during a season boycotted by opposition lawmakers. Sonko, the sole candidate for the position, received 132 votes, with no member voting against him and one abstaining. According to the session's preceding member, Ismail Diallo, there are 165 seats in Parliament. Former Senegalese Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko is elected President of the National Assembly 4 days after being dismissed by the head of state during a meeting boycotted by the opposition, which denounced the move as a constitutional coup d'etat. The election marks a major political comeback for the influential opposition figure, whose removal as Prime Minister sparked strong reactions across Senegal. Opposition parties had earlier described his dismissal as politically motivated.
That result created a very unusual political situation. While the president remained in office, the legislature was now led by the man he had just removed from government. Why does this matter beyond Senegal? Because Senegal has also played an important diplomatic role in West Africa, particularly in discussions involving ECOWAS and the alliance of Sahel states. Political uncertainty at home could affect its influence across the region.
Of the last few weeks have shown the imperative of serious introspection on the future of our democracy and the urgent need to invest in the security of our community.
The coming months will be critical. Senegal faces economic pressure, political uncertainty, and difficult decisions that could shape its future. Whether these leaders find common ground or move further apart is something the entire region will be watching. Thank you for watching Voice of Africa. If you enjoyed this analysis, subscribe for more in-depth reporting on Africa's politics, business, security, and development. I'll see you in the next one.